Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the regular city council meeting to order for January 13th, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. We have a few guests here this evening, and I just would like to welcome Kathy and Bill here from the Habitat for Humanity. It's really nice to see you guys here this evening, along with some of our city employees. I'd like to just announce our protocol. The city council members are here to serve the city of Pierz. We expect respectful conduct at all times. Slander or inappropriate language will not be tolerated. Please speak only when addressed, one person at a time. Each speaker has a 5-minute time limit. Thank you for your cooperation. So the next thing would be our approval of the minutes. If I could get approval for the minutes for January 6th, 2025.
Make that motion.
Gary makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Lynn seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the minutes. Next would be the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or changes that anybody would like to?
I have one change.
Okay,
If we can remove planning and zoning, we did not meet tonight.
okay, so we'll take off, that'd be number 6. So we can take off the Tony Meyer and all that sign replacement stuff?
Yep.
Okay. Scratch that. Any additions? Okay, if I could get approval of the agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda with the one subtraction.
Lynn makes the approval of the agenda.
Second that.
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So the first thing we have is, we have Scott here, Sarah, from the fire department to speak.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Tonight within your packets, there is a resignation letter that I'd like to present to council in addition to our report. So within your packets, Mr. Jacob Sellinger has submitted a resignation. He has been with the department since December of 2015, so he just completed his 9 years of service with the department. Unfortunately, he has decided to turn in his resignation. And with that, we'd like to thank him for his years of service as well as dedication to the department. He was definitely an asset and provided a lot of service work to our departments. We'd like to recognize that as well, in addition to his resignation. So with that, on behalf of the department, I'd like to request presenting his resignation letter for approval.
I was just going to say too that it was really nice having them with you guys, with the firemen. You guys are very valuable to the community, and Jake is as well. That brings it to 29 then, right? Do we have 30? Have 30?
Yes, currently we have 30 firefighters with this resignation. It'll be 29 on the roster. I believe the standard that was put in place a number of years back, and Todd might have a little more information in regards to that. But 26, we
yep.
typically like to see around 30 members just due to call load as well as availability, time of day, things like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Does anybody have any questions at all for Scott? Could I get a motion to accept Jake's resignation?
I'll
I'll
make
make
him.
that motion.
Let's see. Sarah makes the motion. Gary seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. That it, Scott?
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Scott.
The next item we have is we have Kathy and Bill here from Habitat for Humanity. And I think Kathy would like to come up and speak.
Yes.
So we call that the hot seat, Kathy. Just,
Okay. I will be as hot as I can. So thank you, members of the City Council and the Mayor, for inviting us to talk about Habitat for Humanity. I thought I'd just give you like a 30,000 elevated story about what Habitat does in Morrison County. And I'll try to make that 5 minutes, fairly quick. So Bill's giving you a handout. So Habitat has been in Morrison County, an affiliate since 1998. The first house was built in 1999, so we've done a house every year for 25 years, with the exception of 2020, the COVID year. We've done 3 homes in Pierz. We have an open applications now, and it all depends on who applies and where they want to live. It's all dependent on that. So just kind of this handout, and you can review it at another time too. We use volunteers, discounted contractors. The labor is, we had 206 hours of free labor from Wabash, which is a manufacturing company in Little Falls that does those trailers. They paid their employees to come and do our last house. We're working on a school project and would love to, incorporate the Pierz School at some time into a build. So I'll explain that. That's why we're here tonight. There's just some examples of the homes that we've built. And of course, we all know about how children do better in school having a stable home environment. I get calls from past homeowners all the time about how much better their children do in school once they have a room of their own, a safe, decent home to live in, and just something to call their own. The stability just brings about a better educational format for them. And of course, volunteers matter. We take pride in all the volunteers, and there's just a little slide 10 just shows you how many hours of volunteerism and how much it saves on the house that we're building. It's been challenging the past few years. In 2019, we built a house for $75 a square foot, and the last house is $167 a square foot. And we all know there's multiple reasons for that. So the state housing tax credit contribution, that QR code in the corner of slide 12, is just an unbelievable resource that any business or taxpayer can go to Minnesota Housing, and we have the next house as our next project, and contribute instead of paying your Minnesota Department of Revenue taxes. Put those dollars into Minnesota Housing and you get a tax credit up to 85% of that. So instead of paying the Department of Revenue, you can pay and keep it local and pay Minnesota Housing. And then our Habitat affiliate gets those dollars after we've completed the project. So there's more to come on that. So please ask me any questions about that. But for tonight, so what I'm here to talk about is this Greater Minnesota Small Tier 2 Cities Housing Aid Package. And I just highlighted on page, and this is the program guide. The RFP is coming out like in the next couple of weeks. So the city has to submit the grant, and it can be used on page 5 for qualifying projects. So you'll see there emergency rental assistance, and then bullet 2 is financial support to nonprofit affordable housing providers in their mission to provide safe, affordable housing. And then it talks about, affordable housing development. So what happened is Morrison County received $112,000 last year. They will again this year. Last year, they gave the $112,000 to Habitat. So what we did, we put in an aging in place program. So we actually just helped a Pierz resident with her trailer house skirting because she didn't, she was low income senior citizen. So with that grant money, we installed the skirting to save her utility bills for the winter. They can apply through our Habitat. We've done like bathroom remodels so senior citizens can stay in their home. So we added that new project with that Morrison County statewide aid housing money. And so what I'm here tonight for is to, when the RFP comes out, I can work with whoever from your city wants to help me write it. And this is not going to be like a grant that's like intense or anything. It'll be based on population. And I'm talking to the city administrator in Little Falls as well, because it's for all cities 10,000 and under. The amount I don't know, but even if we can get a few $1,000s to buy a lot in Pierz or or do, get a house again done here would go towards, affordable housing. So I'm thinking it's an easy grant. I would be happy to work with you if, and I'm not saying you have to give it to Habitat. That would be great if you could, apply for it and then turn it over to us. And we could do more aging in place as well. We could do, depending on the amount of money that it is. So Bill and I actually last week were talking with Sharon Bell at the F&M Bank in Pierz to help finance some of these homes because it's being challenging. USDA ran out of money in Minnesota last year, which is unbelievable. We were using them to finance our homes at 1% interest, which was great. We don't have the luxury of that anymore, so F&M Bank is going to help us out with that. So that'll be an awesome partnership as well. So this is just for your information. If if there's something else in affordable housing that you want to do, certainly talk to me about it. But I would certainly, let's apply for it and get some funds because it's out there. And when the RFP comes out, if it's Laura that we work with to submit it, I'd be happy to do most of the work, but you have to hit the submit button. I can't do it.
I think that, I think it sounds like a good thing to reach out for. And I know we're all very busy with everything we do every day, and I know Laura's very busy too, but if somebody wants to take it on with Kathy, I mean, I don't know if that's something you would want to do, Laura, or unless one of the council members, you're fine with that?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So I think it would be really nice. I did see something in the record this week. So you guys have partnered with Little Falls, with the school to do
Yes.
kind of like you're talking about, maybe you're trying to do with Pierz as well?
So the Little Falls School District has 3-acre plot of land that they're not doing anything with. And it's right across from the high school, right to the south there. So they want their carpentry trades education built up better. So we can build 8 houses in that lot of land. And all of the carpentry students could walk across the school and help build habitat houses. So we're in the beginning stages of talking about doing that as well, which would be great to, emphasize the trades because not everybody is college material. And we need people in plumbing and electrical and carpentry.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah, it looks like it's a good effort and good program. So.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Questions? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do we need a motion for Laura to work on that?
Does somebody want to make, I don't think we do, but we can if you want to be safe. I don't think we need a motion, do we? Think so, Gary? We don't need a motion for Laura to work on that, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No, okay. The next item we have is an exempt permit for the Pioneer Wrestling Club for 3/22 of '25. If I could get a motion for that approval.
Make that motion.
Gary makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Lynn seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried for the exempt permit for the Pioneer Wrestling Club. Then we move on to the Park Board update. And we actually have our 2 new Park Board members here. We got Gary and Lynn. And so I don't know if you guys want to give an update or however you want to do it, Lynn.
Gary, do you want to start or you want me to?
Go ahead.
So we met last week on Monday as a group and discussed various different things. One of them that we talked about upcoming is parking expansion, that needs to be brought kind of to the forefront with the new 18. We need to make sure we have enough parking for everybody. So we're working on looking into that. Another thing we talked about was a billboard. Sounds like that might have been talked about before. We just want to bring that back to the table and get that information and start looking at that as well. We are also moving forward with interviews. First one was tonight in regards to the 2 new positions for the supervisor and then the supervisor assistant. Am I missing anything, Gary? Those are the big ones.
No, I think those are good.
So,
And then Zach will bring a couple other things
Yeah.
during his update as well.
So that billboard, yeah, we did, and I was talking to Lynn a little bit earlier, we did discuss that last year. So I think Donnie was looking into, Gary, he was looking into some of the permitting and stuff like that. So Donnie could help out with stuff like that. It'd be nice to have something up, which is going to be really hard to do, but up for our grand opening. But
I'd like to
you
get
know,
it up and going.
Yeah, so that'd be good. The parking expansion, when I looked at this, I didn't know for sure what it was, but we were, and Zach would know, we were talking prior to, it would be on the north side of the road going into the clubhouse. There's, all those trees are dying over there along the river, that whole area there. I thought we were gonna take those trees down and, actually, Todd, you were there then. Were we gonna take those trees down and make that, expand the parking lot into that area?
I know we nixed the idea of moving the parking lot like further to the west.
Right.
Because there was some of that, because people do park there already, but you're talking more.
That
just
low
straight
spot.
South of the,
I think so. I think we were gonna have, Zach was gonna work on that this winter, taking the trees down from what I remember. And
We had a
then,
couple other ideas that we brought to the table.
Okay.
That we're looking at also.
okay. Do you know, what are those? I'm just curious.
One thing that was talked about, and this would be, for a lot of parking, would be to move the existing playground area to the other side, closer to the swimming area. It'd be a
Yep.
fenced-in area where parents could actually see their kids.
Right.
Whether they were, playing in the playground or swimming.
Yep.
It'd be a lot safer. It'd be a fenced-in area. And where the current playground is, we could turn that into a whole big parking lot.
Right.
And then potentially in front of the shelters, we would mark that as no parking to make that safer for
Okay.
people crossing, going back and forth.
Nice. Yeah, that, I think we were talking about that too, but that's a good idea. The only thing which might not mean anything is that we have to look at the flood zones. So
And
I
that's why
think
we're looking into
Yeah,
it.
you might not be able to put the park or the stuff over there because it's in the flood zone area, but I don't know, who knows? So that's great. So as far as the interviews, I was talking to Donnie this week a little bit, and then I discussed it with Laura as well. We were kind of thinking that maybe we should hire the director first and have the director have some input on who the assistant's going to be, since they have to work together. And that way, if I was going to be the director, I'd like to have some input on who the assistant would be, and I think it's only fair for the assistant to know who their boss is going to be. But
I think we discussed that, if you don't mind me saying, we
Go ahead.
discussed that, and we thought that would be a good option as well.
Oh,
But then we
good.
thought that the timeframe didn't allow
okay,
for us to be able to do that, is what I.
It's a timing issue.
Right.
This director that comes on, they might have to give a month notice, and then we're a month behind again in terms of interviews and doing those things.
Right.
And in any other job, if the director leaves, the assistant may not.
right.
You
Oh,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? It's
do.
not that you're always going to have that choice on who's under you.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to bring that up because I know they got to work together, and I thought, well, maybe it'd be a nice idea if they did it, but I see the whole being a month behind. That would be-
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah, we have all the interviews set up already, so I think we should continue with what we have.
Okay, that was just a thought that I had. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the next, are you okay with, you good?
Yep.
Good.
Next thing we have then is the treasurer's report.
For the month, at the end of December, the balance in the checkbook was $3,469,258.43.
Fantastic. Could I get a motion
I'll make
to,
the motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Lynn makes motion to approve it.
Second that.
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the treasurer report's approval. Then we have the claims report next.
Claims for the month of December were $299,501.12.
So if I could get an approval or a motion to approve the claims report for December.
Make that motion.
Gary makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Lynn seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the claims report for December. And then we go to department updates. So we have Zach here from the Superintendent of Park.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Few updates. Helped with Erica Snow last week. We've been working on cutting some trees down, the dead ones that are on the new 9 and the old 9 and in the park wherever. They're ones that have died in the past. I dealt with getting some quotes in the last week or two. Also dealing with my fertilizer guy for chemicals and fertilizer for next year, working out a program on what we need to order now that the greens are established, changing that over to a new program and kind of figuring that out. So I've been working on that in the last week, and I'll be continuing working on that over the next couple weeks. We usually don't get the stuff in until I don't have to worry about the chemicals freezing anymore. So, and then we're looking at, with the park board, we talked about trying to update our carts. So we'd like to work on trying to sell 6 of our oldest carts, take that money, and then purchase new carts with those, whatever that gets us. If it's 2 carts, if it's 3 carts, 4 carts, if we can sell them for enough, start high and we'll go from there. But I probably won't start selling them until it warms up. I want to go through them all and change the oil. So, but I just like to get that approval so that when we decide to post them, I'll work with Laura on if we're going to post them on Facebook or the city website or both or all that. So.
And that is the park board recommendation.
Is it? Okay. So if I could get a motion for selling 3 carts and then buying the equivalent dollar amount? for-
6.
6, I'm sorry, selling 6, and then use that money equivalent to buy.
I'll make that motion.
Gary makes the motion,
I'll second it.
Lynn seconds the motion, all in favor say aye.
All right?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And then that'll be put on social media, so the whole city or everybody in surrounding will have the ability.
Great, that is awesome. Yep,
And the idea is we'll have then 12 of those same year's carts left, so and then kind of do the same thing over the next few years, so we can get rid of, they'll be at 22 years old by then if we wait another 2 years, so just start working on that
Yeah.
process of getting those old ones out of there.
And
And
then
I would be replacing them with 2019 carts is what I'd be.
and then then hopefully we can work on our dedicated funding for the golf cart fund actually, and then have enough money in that at some point to be able to utilize that to buy carts too. I mean, that's ideally the
Yeah,
goal.
with 60 carts, there's gonna be
Oh, yeah.
basically a revolving door of selling some constantly, or you're gonna have a huge purchase all of a sudden, so we'll have to figure out as a city, what's the best and how we
Yep.
wanna move forward.
Right.
I got a question for you, Zach, on the nuke or the $100,000 you're spending on the golf carts. I think in that, from the Easy Go guy, he had in the as far as the warranty went, it was like, they're warranting non-wearable parts. I think if you got that in front of you by any chance? I don't have it in front of me. Maybe can you read what he's warranting?
Where did he put it?
It's on the second page, Zach.
Is it on the second?
Yep, under notes.
Non-wearable.
So 1 year parts warranty, no labor. So on any parts,
On any part?
I mean, I would assume any parts, it says
Okay.
parts, so it doesn't say specific parts.
Good.
I guess it says no to non-wearable parts, so like belts, something that is wearing out, tires, he's not gonna include those.
I don't, but every part wears out after some.
Yes, but you're talking parts
I
that
know what I
are,
mean. Could I just want to ask you a favor. I'd like to have more clarification on the warranty, on what is exactly a wearable, what's deemed a wearable part and what
I
isn't.
can ask him on that question,
I'd
but
like
I
that-
would be pretty confident he's talking belts.
I know, but you know how.
And I'll ask him,
yeah.
I'm just gonna give you it now and then I can tell you later, but
Yep.
yeah, it's gonna be probably belts. I'm trying to think what's on those Easy Goes.
Well,
that-
tires,
Tires,
I
he's
understand
not
some of
gonna
that
include
stuff. yeah.
tires. Bearings, probably not, but I can get that.
Yeah,
I'll-
if you
I'll
could.
contact you and I can get back to you on that one.
Fuel filters, stuff like that.
Yeah, fuel
Yeah.
filters, the air filter, you know,
But you know what I mean, Todd? There's a,
but anything that has a consumption value that when you do maintenance, it has a
well, just,
life.
yeah, it's okay. Just, I
I'll
want
ask
a
him.
little more clarification. If you could have them list actually what is a wearable part, it's probably easier to list a wearable part than a non-wearable part, but
Okay, yeah, I can get that question. And then.
I think
are
you're
we-
okay with that, Gary, right?
If he wants to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll just send an email, or do you want me to bring
Yeah.
it to another council? I'll
No,
just
just send, yeah, that'd be
Skip.
awesome, actually, if you just email.
update you guys on what he said. Oh, yeah, just easier just to forward it versus trying to read it all off
Oh,
if it's a
yeah.
long list.
Yeah, you want to do that.
And then with that, I guess I'd like to move forward with purchasing, I guess, from the Easy Go, if that's what we're moving forward on.
I would make the motion to make the purchase for 27 carts for $100,000 from EasyGo.
I'll second.
Gary makes motion, Sarah seconds the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
And that's all I have, unless you guys have something for me, and I will contact Ryan tomorrow and get that information on what's considered a wearable part.
Perfect.
But it might be a day or two before he gets back to me.
Yep,
Thanks, Zach.
Can you also
Appreciate
check
it.
into the flood zone thing in terms of whether or not that's a possibility of moving? Can you look into that a little more?
For
Playground?
Neil was
Playground.
gonna, wasn't
Neil talked about it, but I don't know if he was gonna look into it specifically.
he? 'Cause on the-
Or work with Neil on it.
number
yeah, I can
three-
talk to
on the-
Neil.
Talk to Neil.
Neil's pretty
On the
good
new
with
nine-
that stuff.
huh?
On the new 9, we were allowed like 5,000 square feet to take out of the floodplain.
Oh, we were?
Yeah, that was in the floodplain.
Oh, that was in the
That
back,
green,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
they removed that, yeah, that actually got
Yeah,
removed.
So we talked about possibly finding out if we can do that over there.
They actually, we didn't request it, they actually removed it. That back, you're talking about on the south end by the four-wheeler?
Lemon green.
Yeah, that was actually, they just took it off, we didn't request it, it just wasn't on the
Yeah,
sheet.
Neil,
I don't remember what happened with
Neil,
that.
That was in the floodplain and
They
it was
just-
less than 5,000 square feet. we were able to take out.
They change, every time they do that floodplain, it changes, so that was in it prior, and then it was just, from what I remember reviewing it, it was just taken out, we looked at it, we didn't request to have it taken out, it actually was.
Just have Zach work with Neil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we're, with all
Just
that
bring it
said,
back
that
to the
doesn't
next
affect
board
that
meeting.
anyway.
I just want a verification on, so want to check if there's a floodplain, if we decide to put the parking lot where the current
Would it be an issue?
playground, would that be an issue? And then if we move the playground over to like the beer garden area-ish there, I'm guessing is the idea?
I would put it on the same side as the swimming.
Yeah, so the beer
beer
garden.
gar- yes, yes,
the
yes,
beer
yes, yes.
garden is just to be, so probably to the
Yes.
west of that.
Yes.
If that's gonna be a problem, if that floods as well. So
Yes.
those two spots, playground there, that's what
And then
you want.
parking.
And then parking over there, okay.
Yep.
I can
Just so
get-
we know our options.
Yep.
Yeah, we do,
Moving
because
forward.
typically if something's already, if it's in there and they make it a floodplain, you're okay, because it's grandfathered in, it's adding new stuff.
And I know certain things like a cement pad's different than a building
Yep.
and all those things too. So I will talk with Neil and
Okay.
then hopefully work together.
Great,
Zach.
thanks, Zach. Okay, so next we have the Public Works Director, Eric.
All right, good evening, council and mayor. Okay. So, kind of go over an update, some stuff, on what we've been doing here lately. If it hasn't been snowing out, we've been doing a lot of servicing, all of our equipment. So we've gone through everything now except for the blue New Holland tractor. And then, the sweeper, we cleaned it all up and found a bunch of holes in the box, the hopper box that holds all the dirt. So we're gonna grind it out and patch the holes up, which that'll probably take us a couple weeks, putzing around, getting that patched back up. The blue tractor, I think, just needs to be serviced. There might be a couple little parts inside that need to get replaced on it, but other than that, that thing should be good to go. The plow truck's been doing great. The loader and the new plow have been working well.
Good.
The last few times we've been out with it, that thing, it works really well, because at this point now we have the plow truck goes to the east side of town, plows, and the west side gets done with the loader. So essentially, these guys are probably a little more shocked because they get plowed out a little bit earlier than normal. But that sequence has been going pretty good. The skating rinks, they've been in good shape here this year. We did get all of our new street lighting on and going. We did have a little glitch with one of them down there, but Design Electric came in and monkey around with the head up there, and it works good.
Great.
I do have one pole scheduled to get pulled out on Peter Avenue. We left it in there just to have some light down there. So Minnesota Power will be there to disconnect it and pull the pole out of the ground. And then when they do come, we're gonna go over to the golf course. I know Don had asked about that parking area by the front door and all that stuff. There is some underground wire that runs there. I don't know where it goes. But when they come, we'll hook up some of their stuff and see what direction it goes to. I honestly think it goes to that pump down there, but I'm not 100% sure. I will have to just thump it and see where it goes.
I was, I think, told that that power to that pump comes from the pole by the back.
Okay.
If I,
Okay.
that's what I remember, but I,
Yeah, like I said, I looked at our map we had, and I'm like, I don't know. So we're gonna check it and find out. Other than that, I think for the most part, it was clear over there to do something with if you wanted to.
yeah, there's stuff that I know that's there that we gotta find.
And then some upcoming things. We'll be taking down the Christmas lights this week. We'll maintain our skating rinks. I got the last third of Main Street snow to remove yet, which I'll get on that tomorrow, get that out of there from Fire Hall down to Sue's. I did look into the billboard thing that you guys were talking about. I did call the county. They have no issue with a billboard going there. I called MnDOT. Nothing. I just said we'd put it up by our fence. I didn't know really where, and I thought maybe that's the best. It keeps it out of the ditch, keeps it in our area. Neither one of them have a problem with it, so.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
It is.
And they didn't give me, like, size-wise, didn't really matter. The only question he had is if it wasn't advertising something for town, they would have to do something else. But it's advertising for our golf course, and they said it's fine, so.
Perfect. Yeah, that is.
Good.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, and then, that's it. That's all I got. If you guys got anything for me? Oh, the MMUA thing. I did want to go to that, but due to some scheduling conflicts on my end of it, I won't be able to go to it. So maybe next year I'll look into it again. I did go 2 years ago. It is a good thing to go back and get the refresher on all that jazz. So this year just won't work out, but maybe we'll schedule her up right next year. So they hold it roughly the same time every year. So other than that, that's all I have. You guys have anything for me?
Nope. That's good. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
I mean, Eric,
Thanks, Eric.
sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we have council updates. I think you kind of covered your stuff, Lynn, unless you got anything else. I don't have
Laura yet?
anything.
City administrator.
Laura?
Or, yeah, you're next. Yep. Oh, so, yeah, okay. What do you have?
I do have a little bit. I have that I've been completing the year-end items, so 1099, W-2s, reporting for the auditors, TIP year-end and quarterly report, along with renewing memberships. One recent one was our Pierz area, our PAC membership. So that's been done. It was $200. Our audit is scheduled for February 24th and 28th. And Lynn did speak on the applications. I just want to state that we had 20 applications for the director, 6 for the assistant. We started the interview process tonight. That's been going well. The hiring committee has been working really well with, so. And then at our last meeting, I also wanted to just lay out that we did do our oaths for our mayor, John. City clerk is Sarah Fighton. Council members Lynn Egan and Gary Berg. And we will complete the treasurer Kay Stengel when she returns to us. So. And then I just wanted to state our annual designations. I was kind of asked, we did approve these, but we just needed to bring them that our official depository is Farmers and Merchants State Bank, Unity Bank. Official newspaper is Morrison County Record. And our acting mayor is Lynn. Those were some items somebody had asked me about recently, so. And then lastly, I do have Tony's PTO payout, which is 189.25 hours at her pay of $25.63. It came out to $4,850.48 before taxes. So thought that should be.
Yeah, we need to vote on that. That would be paying her off for PTO time.
Yep, that was her.
Which she deserves. So if I could, any discussion? Sarah? Good. So if I could get a motion to pay Tony's PTO time of $4,850.48.
I'll make that motion.
Sarah makes the motion.
Second it.
Gary seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to pay Tony's PTO time.
Thank you. That was all I had.
Well, we covered the council updates already, so in the lieu of Donnie not being here,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.